Everything worth fighting for in life never comes easy. That saying remains more truer than ever on nights like tonight. With the biggest stage in sports entertainment looming in the distance, this is the final opportunity for these superstars to make their mark, to find their path to the bright lights at the show of shows. Tonight, 6 men, 6 women enter the most unpredictable and unforgiving structure ever created, the Elimination Chamber, with championship opportunities hanging in the balance. Who will fight with grit and glory to obtain the chance at immortality at WrestleMania? Tonight is the night for scores to be settled, for tensions to run higher than ever. These superstars of Raw and the superstars of SmackDown battle it out for honor, bragging rights, and gold. Who will represent the best of the best on the biggest event of the year? Who will walk draped in gold into the spotlight? And who will be chasing the champions for the opportunity of a lifetime? The road to WrestleMania makes a pit stop in Anaheim, California. This is the last chance for these warriors to punch their ticket to the grandest stage of them all. Who will survive and who will fall by the wayside? Tonight at the Elimination Chamber. And now, WWE presents the Elimination Chamber. We welcome you inside a sold-out Honda Center in Anaheim, California on Sunday night, January the 22nd, 2023, for your final pay-per-view stop on the road to WrestleMania. Welcome to the Elimination Chamber.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
We are kicking off this historic evening with a grudge match over the Intercontinental Championship. The dangerous, disturbing, and most importantly, undefeated Karrion Kross is set to take on the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Ever since he returned to the WWE last fall, Kross owns victories over John Morrison, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Cedric Alexander, R-Truth, Jordan Devlin, and the biggest win coming over AJ Styles just under a month ago. This man that calls himself the #1 contender has been stalking the Bruiserweight for weeks on Monday Night Raw, has left them laying on multiple occasions. And Karrion Kross, we gotta wonder, has he bitten off more than he can chew? Is he underestimating the Bruiserweight tonight? We know how dangerous Kross is, especially with that woman, the mysterious Scarlet, in his corner. Kross is a former 2-time NXT champion. He has held gold under the WWE banner before, but he's looking to do it for the first time on Monday Night Raw here tonight in Anaheim on your final pay-per-view stop before WrestleMania. Welcome to the Elimination Chamber, and this is how you kick off pay-per-view. On a night that'll feature not 1 but 2 Elimination Chamber matches, the WWE Championship to be defended between Rob Van Dam and Randy Orton, the World Heavyweight Championship to be defended between Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler from Friday Night SmackDown. What better way to kick off this stacked match card here in Anaheim with the prestigious Intercontinental Championship, a title that's been held by so many Hall of Famers, so many legends over the years. The Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. What about the late great Razor Ramon, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, Triple H, The Rock? The list goes on and on and on. Pete Dunne, who is in the midst of his second reign with the Intercontinental Championship, not looking to stop anytime soon, but Karrion Kross sees an expiration date, and that very well may be tonight. The last time we saw this man, the Intercontinental Champion, he was laid out in the backstage area after an Alabama slam through a table, followed it up with a strong lariat to the face, might have broken the nose of Pete Dunne just a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. We mentioned how Cross has been stalking the Intercontinental Champion for weeks, sending a message that he was coming for the gold. Hence the reason we call this a grudge match tonight. It's about more than just the title that is draped over the shoulder of the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is out for vengeance, and with WrestleMania looming, this is really a matchup, as is every matchup tonight, to determine who's going to walk into the grandest stage of them all holding championship gold. Pete Dunne's been the Intercontinental Champion since December the 7th at Raw Homecoming. He won in a triple threat matchup versus Sheamus and the former champion Tommaso Ciampa. This is his second reign with the Intercontinental Gold, and he's not looking to slow down anytime soon. What a big way to kick off the Elimination Chamber. We are live from Anaheim, California. Let's send things down to the ring for your official match introductions.
Introducing the challenger from Sin City, weighing in at 265 pounds, Karrion. And introducing the champion from Birmingham, England, weighing in at 205 pounds. He is the WWE Intercontinental Champion, the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Big fight feel to kick off the Elimination Chamber live from Anaheim, California. It is a packed house, a loud house here in the Honda Center, as we are set to open things up with the prestigious Intercontinental Championship being defended. Mr. Doomsday himself, Karrion Kross, with Scarlett in his corner, one-on-one with the Intercontinental Champion, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. We are underway here at Elimination Chamber. Title is on the line. This matchup really, again, to determine who's going to walk into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. We mentioned all the names that Karrion Kross has defeated ever since he returned to the WWE after almost a year hiatus. Back in the fall, he has been undefeated, unstoppable, ever since entering a Monday Night Raw ring again. We're going to win the title here, already a 2 count, and you got to wonder, what is the condition of Pete Dunne coming into this matchup tonight? It was 3 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. Pete Dunne picked up a victory, and then Karrion Kross hit the ring, laid out Pete Dunne, passed him out in the squared circle. What a chokeslam with a mandible claw. And it was the following week where cameras cut to the back, and we really don't know who started the brawl, but at the end of the day, Karrion Kross came out on top, and Pete Dunne was laying on the concrete. And Pete Dunne, again, we don't know his condition, but at the end of the day, he was going to come into this match by hook or by crook, not only to retain the Intercontinental Championship, but to try to get some revenge over Karrion Kross as he sends him over the top rope. If anybody's got a fighting chance to give Karrion Kross his first loss, it absolutely has to be the Intercontinental Champion of Monday Night Raw. Pete Dunne won the gold for the first time last June at SummerSlam in a triple threat match versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. He lost the gold to Tommaso Ciampa back in September, a matchup that Pete Dunne went in nowhere near 100%. You remember back at Judgment Day, he went in with bandages. Pete Dunne still went into the fight. Similar to how he's coming tonight, tough as nails is the Bruiserweight. Finally got a chance to win that title back and started off this second Intercontinental Championship reign again, as we mentioned, back on December the 7th at Raw Homecoming in Madison Square Garden. Well, Karrion Kross stopping himself dead in his tracks there, lucky for him, but Pete Dunne sent him into the barricade. Pete Dunne is out for cold blood tonight against Karrion Kross. Intercontinental Champion trying to build some momentum. Honda Center is rocking, a raucous crowd in Anaheim for your final pay-per-view before the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. Now Pete Dunne off the apron again, dropped the axe hammer on Kross. And Karrion Kross is in trouble right now. His biggest win since returning to the WWE, absolutely coming against AJ Styles. In the midst of a pick your poison leading up to the Royal Rumble. Oh, wait a minute, Pete Dunne off the pump kick. Gonna hand Kross his first loss, not just yet. As we were mentioning, Karrion Kross owns a victory over AJ Styles, and Styles definitely pushed Kross in that matchup. And AJ Styles' focus during that time was on Randy Orton in the WWE Championship. Pete Dunne tonight is solely focused on his Intercontinental title, as well as retribution over the man laying flat on the canvas right now. Pete Dunne, what a double stomp. You want to break a rib, that's how you do it. And into the cover again. Is that all she wrote? Not just yet. Pete Dunne is throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Karrion Kross. Retribution on the mind of the Intercontinental Champion. And look at this, a ground and pound. Pete Dunne knows how to pick apart his opponent limb by limb and absolutely beat the piss and vinegar out of any man he is in the ring with. Cannot count out the bruiserweight. Kross has been unstoppable, he's been undefeated, but Pete Dunne is absolutely impressive every time he steps foot inside of the ring, and is the Intercontinental Champion for a reason. He has really got Karrion Kross in a predicament right now. Pete Dunne's looking good. Well, of course, as we say that, Karrion Kross saying time's up to the bruiserweight. It may be time up on the Intercontinental Championship reign for Pete Dunne here. Wait a minute, Saito suplex, a signature from Kross. And Pete Dunne was dead center of the ring. I'm surprised Karrion Kross didn't go for the pinfall there. Evidently, he's got something else in mind. Could be going for that choke slam that he hit earlier on. Choke slam number 2 on the Intercontinental Champion, and back on the assault. And now into the cover, and Karrion Kross gonna win the Intercontinental Championship, not just yet. Don't count out the bruiserweight. Now look at this. Talked about Pete Dunne bringing the ground and pound to this matchup. Karrion Kross is no stranger to that kind of offense. Knows how to inflict it himself. Now hanging Pete Dunne up to the top rope. As we mentioned, Karrion Kross is a 2-time NXT champion during his run in the black and gold brand. Absolutely dominant during his days in NXT. Has been dominant ever since he rejoined Monday Night Raw. Now Pete Dunne, he may have exhausted himself with all the offense he threw at Karrion Kross. He really did do a number, and Kross has taken the momentum back, and that may be all she wrote for the Intercontinental Champion. You don't want to count out Pete Dunne, because there he is right there showing signs of life. Oh, wait a minute, small package here to steal the victory here at Elimination Chamber. Not just yet as Karrion Kross pops the shoulder up, but how close was that? Pete Dunne, oh man, he was half a second away from retaining the Intercontinental Championship, and Karrion Kross, what a kick that was. But now the bruiserweight still with fight left in him. Into the corner goes Kross. Oh, wait a minute, Pete Dunne put Kross on the top rope. Kross able to avoid it there. But Pete Dunne's got something in mind. Oh, wait a minute, slingshot DDT on the apron. Any means necessary to retain the Intercontinental Championship tonight. Payback is a bitch, and he's got it on the mind for Karrion Kross tonight. What a maneuver by the bruiserweight. Kross may have had his bell rung for good. Not just yet. Karrion Kross still showing signs of life. And now the bigger, stronger competitor has got the Intercontinental Championship back in a predicament. Kross has got to be feeling it. No way he's at 100% right now. After everything he's taken in this matchup, and that DDT on the apron. Crash and burn by the challenger. A clothesline by Pete Dunne. Does Pete Dunne have what it takes to give Karrion Kross his first loss since returning to Monday Night Raw? We're gonna find out here in Anaheim tonight. Kross worse for wear in the corner, and Pete Dunne, what a boot scrape. And now into the cover to retain the Intercontinental Championship. How close was that? 2.5 there for Pete Dunne, but Karrion Kross is still breathing. Now Pete Dunne, oh look at this. This is Pete Dunne. This is why nobody's like him inside of the ring. I believe he was just biting the fingers there of Karrion Kross. Oh, he's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it again. Pete Dunne, we talked about any means necessary. He has taken that saying to the fullest. Guess you take out the hands of your opponent, you're taking out some of the offense, and here's Pete Dunne again, doing some of that signature bruiserweight style and stomping on Karrion Kross. And Kross is maybe down and out for good. Kross is dazed. Oh, wait a minute, Pete Dunne, here we go! Bitter end! And he may have just sent the #1 contender's hopes to an absolute broken bitter end. The Intercontinental Champion retains the gold. What a bruising matchup to kick us off here in Anaheim. And the bruiserweight Pete Dunne had all the motivation and more to fight through the offense, to fight through the pain, and to retain his Intercontinental Championship here tonight.
Here is your winner, and still the WWE Intercontinental Champion, the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Well, Karrion Kross suffers his first blemish on the record since returning to Monday Night Raw, and the Bruiserweight leaves the Honda Center with the Intercontinental Championship. But tonight here in Anaheim, not one but two Elimination Chamber matches are scheduled. In your main event, these 6 SmackDown superstars will compete for the opportunity to challenge either Dolph Ziggler or Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. But coming up next, 6 women of Monday Night Raw will battle it out to face either Asuka or Tegan Nox for the Women's Championship at the grandest stage of them all. Right now, we're going to take a special look at all 12 competitors and the 2 Elimination Chamber matches here tonight. The road to WrestleMania is filled with obstacles, none more ominous than the Elimination Chamber. It is the last opportunity for these 12 WWE superstars to move forward on their path to WrestleMania. Championships, careers, and legacies will be at stake. The barbaric steel jungle, sacrifice and survive or fall at the wayside. 2 superstars start the match. 4 will remain imprisoned until their card is called. The last body remaining, after 5 other victims have been defeated, will earn the right to challenge for championship gold on the grandest stage of them all. Are you willing to hurt? Are you willing to fight through pain? Are you willing to shorten your career to headline WrestleMania? These gladiators step into this unforgiving structure, but who will ultimately survive the Elimination Chamber? Well, it is time for your first of 2 Elimination Chamber matches here tonight. Who is going to face the WWE Women's Champion of the World at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? And here comes a woman who has main evented WrestleMania in years past. The EST of WWE, former Women's Champion in her own right, Bianca Belair. The final woman to qualify for this matchup, she defeated Mia Yim this past Monday Night on Raw to secure her spot. The last time Bianca held gold here in the WWE, we're going back to last June at SummerSlam, where she lost the Women's Championship to the ballsy badass Shotzi. It was the final match in a trilogy of battles between those 2 women. Bianca's been fighting ever since to get another opportunity at the gold. Is tonight her night to win the Elimination Chamber and punch her ticket to WrestleMania? Or will it be this woman, a former NXT Women's Champion? She defeated Alexa Bliss to gain entry into this matchup. The strongest, quite possibly, to step foot inside the Elimination Chamber match tonight. Bianca might argue that, but nonetheless, Raquel Gonzalez, a woman we have predicted is going to have a breakout year here in the WWE. All the tools to be a champion. As we mentioned, she's a former NXT Women's Champion. She ruled the black and gold brand, but now a part of Monday Night Raw. Is this the opportunity for Raquel Gonzalez to capitalize on and move her way on to WrestleMania? Later tonight, we will find out who the champion will be at the end of February, whether that be the champion Asuka or tonight's challenger Tegan Nox. But right now, we find out who's going to be the #1 contender come Tampa Bay, Florida. And here comes the man. She returned to Monday Night Raw 2 weeks ago, defeating the boss Sasha Banks to gain her spot into the Elimination Chamber. A woman who knows all about the main event. A woman who knows all about being a champion. Becky Lynch. This is not her first rodeo inside of the chamber. And it quite possibly wouldn't be Becky Lynch's first rodeo at WrestleMania either. This is a woman who toppled Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey several years ago in the women's main event, the first women's main event of WrestleMania, to walk out a double champion here in the WWE. Can she do it again? We'll find out tonight. Becky enters her pod. Of course, 4 pods will be filled. 2 women will start off this matchup. Elimination can only occur by pinfall or submission. And here comes another former champion. She's held gold on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, one half of the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Of course, representing Damage Control with her tag team partner Dakota Kai. This is Bayley, the woman who defeated Saray to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match tonight. And we talked about how Bayley, one half of the inaugural Women's Tag Team Champions, she won that gold alongside Sasha Banks back in 2019 in this very structure. So Bayley is no stranger to the Elimination Chamber, and certainly no stranger to getting her hand raised inside the confines of this dangerous, disturbing, and unpredictable structure that lies before us here in Anaheim tonight. The 4 pods have been filled, and we now know the 2 women that'll kick off the Elimination Chamber matchup. The Nightmare, Rhea Ripley, is in the house. You want to talk about a former champion? You want to talk about dominating NXT in her day? Look no further than the Nightmare. And of course, we know that Ripley will start this matchup with the ballsy badass Shotzi by process of elimination. Those 2 women have recent history dating back to December the 7th, Madison Square Garden, New York City, at Raw Homecoming. During the reign of Shotzi as the women's champion, one of the women she successfully retained the gold over was the Nightmare Ripley herself. So a little bit of chance at retribution for Ripley here to kick things off inside the Elimination Chamber, but obviously a greater purpose to be served with the #1 contendership for WrestleMania on the line. Ripley has participated in championship matches at WrestleMania. She walked into WrestleMania 36 as the NXT Women's Champion. She left WrestleMania 37 as the Monday Night Raw Women's Champion by defeating the current champion, Asuka. So no stranger to each other there, but here comes your final participant. Quite possibly the 2022 Breakout Star of the Year. A woman who back on January the 1st unfortunately lost the Women's Championship in her final meeting after a 6-month-plus rivalry with the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. The ballsy badass, Shotzi. You gotta believe that if there's any woman who's gonna take risk and that isn't gonna be afraid to use the Elimination Chamber to go to death-defying heights, look no further than the ballsy badass herself. And I'm sure Shotzi is chomping at the bit to get her hands on Asuka again, or quite possibly the woman who she also retained the title against, that being Tegan Nox, the woman who we'll see later tonight. But those are your 6 participants inside your first of 2 Elimination Chamber matches here tonight in Anaheim. Who is going to face the Women's Champion at WrestleMania? We find out right now. Bayley, Becky, Bianca, and Raquel inside the pods, and Ripley and Shotzi kicking things off here. Again, eliminations can only occur by pinfall or submission. And the last woman remaining in this matchup will punch her ticket to the grandest stage of them all. Again, Ripley and Shotzi, no strangers to each other. Just over a month ago, they were inside the squared circle competing for the Women's Championship in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Ripley trying to catch Shotzi off guard with an early elimination, but not just yet. You know how tough Shotzi is. She absolutely proved herself, as we mentioned. Quite possibly the breakout star of the year, not just in the women's division, but in the entire WWE in 2022. And we're about to have our third entrant into the Elimination Chamber matchup. Who is going to join Ripley and Shotzi? Very exciting. Who's it going to be? And it's going to be Raquel Gonzalez, a woman who we're predicting will be a breakout star in 2023. Ripley wants to go high, but I think Raquel may be intimidating her a little bit there. Ripley with a missile drop kick on Shotzi on the outside of the chamber. And now Raquel going after Ripley. Remember, Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez also have recent history with each other. It was 1 week before Raw Homecoming on Monday Night Raw that Ripley defeated Raquel Gonzalez to earn her opportunity. Now Shotzi, look at this, Saito suplex on the outside of the chamber. Thin padding on the outside of the ring. It ain't no easy fall inside of the Elimination Chamber. Ripley, Shotzi, and now Raquel Gonzalez, who will be the fourth entrant inside your first of two Elimination Chamber matches here tonight. Becky, Bayley, Bianca remains, and it's gonna be the man, Becky Lynch. The woman who made a return to the WWE after almost a year on the shelf due to an injury just 2 weeks ago on Raw, steps inside the chamber, and Ripley is the first to eat the steel chain lengths of the walls. Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley going at it. Shotzi and Raquel Gonzalez going at it. I'd like to assume, oh, wait a minute. Becky going to the top rope, looking to take things high risk, high reward, but it did not pay her dividends. Crashes and burns off the leg drop. I was about to mention, I'd like to assume that either Asuka and Tegan Nox are watching this matchup to scout who could be their opponent for WrestleMania right now, but I'm sure those two women are focused on each other. No time to focus on this matchup at the current moment. Your fifth entrant coming up in just a matter of seconds. Already down to two, Bianca and Bayley inside of the pods. It's only going to get more chaotic as Bianca Belair enters the Elimination Chamber. Oh, and another Saito on the outside by Shotzi. It's only going to get more dangerous, only going to get more chaotic inside of the squared circle as all these participants enter the fray here. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be the first to fall, who's going to be the first casualty inside the Elimination Chamber. What a drop kick by Ripley. And Shotzi and Bianca going at it on the outside of the ring. Those two women with a lot of history. And what a springboard over the top by the Nightmare. A woman with the size and strength of Rhea Ripley throwing caution in the wind, any means necessary to go to WrestleMania. Now Bianca into the cover on Raquel. She gets the shoulder up. And the final participant, Bayley, about to enter the fray. And here she comes. All six women have entered the Elimination Chamber matchup. One of these women will challenge for the WWE Women's Championship at the end of February, the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. And again, we will determine the champion for WrestleMania later tonight when the #1 contender, Tegan Nox, takes on the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Raquel and Bianca going at it. Raquel is dragged on the EST right now with clotheslines. Becky and Shotzi going at it. Ripley and Bayley fighting it out as well. Oh, and there's a slam by the Nightmare into the cover on Bayley, the freshest competitor in this matchup. She gets the shoulder up. We do our best to keep up with the action. Obviously, a lot of bodies in there right now. Look at Raquel Gonzalez coming off the top rope. A splash on the Ballsy Badass into the cover, but Shotzi gets the shoulder up. Certainly know how tough Shotzi is. We can't talk about it enough. The year she had in 2022. Winning the Women's Championship for the first time, winning it again back at Survivor Series. The 2023 may have started on a sour note, losing the title to Asuka at the Royal Rumble, but she's looking to bounce back tonight. Becky and Bianca going at it. Ripley and Bayley still brawling here. Bayley with a shot takes down the Nightmare Rhea Ripley. Meanwhile, on the outside of the ring, almost missed it there. We almost had our first elimination. Raquel trying to get rid of Shotzi. Meanwhile, over the top rope, down goes Rhea Ripley. Yep, Bianca Belair and Becky in there right now. Wait a minute, double pinfalls going on, but still no casualties. Everybody's going for the elimination. You want to get the bodies out of your way, trying to thin the field if you're going to last and go the distance in this matchup. Meanwhile, Becky going for the leg drop, but Bianca got out of the way. All 6 women fighting on the outskirts of the chamber right now, or outskirts of the ring, excuse me, getting closer to the chain walls of the Elimination Chamber. Well, things, quite frankly, are only going to get more dangerous. There goes Raquel back inside of the ring, and Rhea Ripley, man, just took Shotzi's lights out off that lariat. Into the cover she goes, and Shotzi kicks out again. And Shotzi is showing her stuff in this matchup as Bianca gets crushed off a leg drop by Becky. And we have another pinfall scenario. Bianca gets the shoulder up. Now, meanwhile, we focus on Raquel Gonzalez, who's got Bayley. Look at this. All tied up here in the submission hold. This could be the first casualty of the matchup. Bayley. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was it. I thought the referee was calling it off, but Bayley getting out of it. Pinfall or submission, as we mentioned, the only way to be eliminated in this matchup. Bayley trying to get one up on Raquel here, but Raquel gets the shoulder up. Again, this is your first of 2 Elimination Chamber matches tonight in your main event. 6 superstars of Friday Night SmackDown will compete for the opportunity to challenge either Dolph Ziggler or Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. LA Knight, Robert Roode, Finn Balor, Mustafa Ali, Drew McIntyre, and John Cena coming up in your main event inside this very chamber. Oh, and wait a minute, off the top rope, Bayley hit a Bayley to belly, but not able to capitalize. Meanwhile, Raquel Gonzalez is laid out. Somebody needs to take advantage because there might be an elimination there. A Bayley to belly from the top, but nobody able to capitalize here. And Raquel, luckily, has her chances saved. Wait a minute, Ripley going into the cover. And no, she kicks out. Meanwhile, on the outside, Bianca trying to eliminate Becky, but she kicks out as well. Bayley's down. Shotzi's going to the top rope. Wait a minute. Shotzi, coffin drop on damage, controls Bayley. Meanwhile, Gonzalez with that power slam on Ripley. Cover. Bayley is eliminated. Referee's got to focus Raquel. She had Ripley for the 3 count, but the referee was distracted off Shotzi's pinfall to Bayley. Bayley has been eliminated. And Bayley's casualty really saved the Nightmare Rhea Ripley right there. We are down to 5 women just like that. Off the coffin drop, Shotzi gets rid of Bayley. The first casualty of the Elimination Chamber matchup. Well, Bianca could be going here, but not just yet. Again, Rhea Ripley was down for the 3 count there, but the referee's vantage point obviously was somewhere else. And that would cover. Will that be all? But Shotzi gets the shoulder up. Meanwhile, Bianca just gets chucked into the chamber on the outside. Bianca and Becky have really been brawling with each other a lot in this matchup. Shotzi's down. Meanwhile, the Nightmare Rhea Ripley is heading to the top rope. Elbow drop on the ballsy badass. Meanwhile, Becky into the cover on Raquel on the outside, and not just yet. Trying to keep up with the action here. We head back inside the square circle while Rhea is stomping the lights out of Shotzi. So much chaos inside of the Elimination Chamber. Every woman is going to give it their all for the chance to be contesting for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And Shotzi almost eliminated there but gets the shoulder up. Shotzi has kicked out possibly more than anybody in this matchup. The heart and the grit of the ballsy badass to fight for the Women's Championship once again. Becky and Bianca still continuing their fight. They've been at each other's throats all matchup. Becky going for the cover. Elimination time here. Wait a minute, another cover, but Shotzi again gets the shoulder up. A lot of action for one referee to keep up with. While Becky's on the top rope, Rhea gets taken out by Raquel, and down goes Bianca by the hands of the man Becky Lynch. Wait a minute, Shotzi, slice spread on Becky Lynch. And that may be all she wrote. The man hitting the showers, not just yet, as she gets the shoulder up. But how close was that? A great move by Shotzi to catch Becky off guard. But Becky Lynch survives another moment, now gets sent to the outside of the ring by Bianca Belair. Raquel gonna follow him out there. While Rhea and Shotzi on the other side of the Elimination Chamber. Who's gonna join Bayley on the casualty list? Wait a minute, look at this. Becky Lynch goes behind on Rhea Ripley, trying to steal the elimination. Oh, and she was so close. Almost had our second casualty here, but the power of Rhea Ripley to get the shoulder up. Wait a minute, Becky Lynch. It rolls through, going for the disarmer on the Nightmare. Becky with the submission locked in. Rhea nowhere to go. Rhea Ripley taps out.
Rhea Ripley has been eliminated.
The Nightmare is gone. Your second casualty in the match. Meanwhile, Shotzi into the cover of Raquel. She gets the shoulder up. We are down to 4 ladies in this contest. Raquel Gonzalez, Becky Lynch, Shotzi, and Bianca Belair. Bayley and Rhea Ripley have fallen by the wayside. We are down to 4 inside the Elimination Chamber. It's 1 elimination for Shotzi, 1 elimination for Becky so far. As the fight continues, Shotzi and Bianca going at it. We all know the history between them. 3 incredible matches last spring and summer that culminated at last year's SummerSlam between those 2 ladies. Gonzalez has taken Becky Lynch to school inside of the ring, beaten down in the lower back of the man. Shotzi gets sent over the top rope and inside the squared circle. Now Raquel, look at this, taking Becky Lynch for an amusement park ride. Maybe enough to knock her daylights out, and now Raquel's going to the top rope. Becky's not having none of it, knocking Raquel off. Raquel tried hitting Becky with that axe hammer, nowhere to be found. Becky Lynch rolling up Raquel Gonzalez, trying to steal the elimination, and she does!
Gonzalez has been eliminated.
Becky Lynch coming from behind, rolling up Raquel Gonzalez off the misstep by Gonzalez, and she is hitting the showers. We are down to 3 inside the Elimination Chamber. Becky Lynch, Shotzi, Bianca Belair, one of these women are going to WrestleMania. That was a big-time elimination by big-time Bex. Coming up from behind, rolling up Raquel off her misstep from the top rope and stole the elimination there. Now Becky working over Bianca. Shotzi trying to get her wits about her. 2 eliminations for the man Becky Lynch, 1 for the ballsy badass Shotzi. As 3 of what will inevitably be 5 casualties in this matchup have been made. What a shot by Bianca. Nice clothesline on Shotzi. Follows it up with a moonsault. The history between these 2 women, they know how to put each other away. Wait a minute, Bianca Belair's got Shotzi up. KOD! And that may be all she wrote. The ballsy badass. Maybe leaving Anaheim empty-handed tonight. There she goes. An unfortunate loss for the ballsy badass Shotzi, eliminated by an old rival in Bianca Belair. But we are down to 2, the man Becky Lynch and the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, who is going to WrestleMania. Becky, exploder suplex. A surprise Becky didn't hurry into the cover there. That could have been all off the suplex. Not done yet, Becky Lynch dropping the leg drop on Bianca Belair. Going for a dose, and she hits it. And that was a big elimination moments ago. The most recent former women's champion, the ballsy badass Shotzi, got an elimination in this matchup, gave it a Raw. But her old rival in the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, knocking her daylights out with that KOD, and that's sent her to the back. Nonetheless, we are down to 2. Bianca and Becky have been at each other's throats this whole matchup. Now inevitably it leads to these two women being the final two women left standing inside the Elimination Chamber. Bianca on the top rope. This is not where she wants to be right now. At least on a defensive end, as Becky Lynch, a superplex as Bianca goes splat in the middle of the ring. And Becky's got her eyes sharp on the EST. Goes for a forearm there. Bianca says none of it. There's a counter by Becky. Now look at this, tying up Bianca Belair from behind, and Bianca eats the canvas for dinner. Becky again lying in wait, but there's a counter by Bianca. Back and forth, the momentum shifts with such a big opportunity on the line. Neither one of these women looking to give an inch. Neither one of these women want to see the opportunity slip through their fingers here tonight in the Honda Center. Everybody wants to be a part of the show of shows. Everybody wants to be the champion. Everybody wants to leave the division on top. And Becky Lynch into the cover off the Exploder. The man is going to WrestleMania. What an Elimination Chamber matchup. And the man, Becky Lynch, racks up 3 eliminations and is the final woman left standing inside the middle of the ring, and will meet the champion at the grandest stage of them all. What a win!
Here is your winner, Becky Lynch.
She returned a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, defeated Sasha Banks, walks into the Elimination Chamber tonight, gets not 1, not 2, but 3 eliminations, and now the man, big time Bex, Becky Lynch, will challenge either Asuka or Tegan Nox for the WWE Women's Championship at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. What has already been one hell of a night here in Anaheim, California, but the action nowhere near done as the WWE World Tag Team Championships are set to be defended. And one of the most decorated teams in WWE history wants to walk into WrestleMania with yet another championship reign under their belt. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, the New Day, the #1 contenders for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The New Day have had a score to settle with DIY ever since the World Tag Team Championship Eliminator leading up to the Royal Rumble. DIY had defeated Kofi and Woods in the first round, but it was really after the matchup that told the story and put a chip on these two men's shoulder to come back fighting harder than ever and to get the World Tag Team Championships. Gargano and Ciampa used Woods and Kofi to make a statement. Not only won the match that night, but beat him down and threw him out of quote-unquote their ring. Kofi and Woods got a measure of revenge the last few weeks. Kofi Kingston defeated Tommaso Ciampa in singles action. Xavier Woods defeated Johnny Gargano in singles action as well. Those two victories earning the New Day this World Tag Team Championship matchup here tonight. Kofi and Woods have had decorated careers. They ain't slowing down anytime soon, but neither are the champions. The cocky SOB, Johnny Gargano, and that cold-hearted SOB, Tommaso Ciampa. You may not like them, you may not respect their actions, but you have to acknowledge their talents from bell to bell. They ended the reign of Damian Priest and Dominik Dijakovic, who had held the championships from September the 10th all the way till January 1st at the Royal Rumble. And now Gargano and Ciampa defend the golds for the very first time since winning them back in Toronto on New Year's night at the Royal Rumble event. They really picked this fight with Kofi and Woods. And it's one of those cases where don't make the bed if you don't want to sleep in it. But Gargano and Ciampa have to meet their demons tonight. Kofi and Woods earned this opportunity, and they're looking to leave the Honda Center in Anaheim, California as the new WWE World Tag Team Champions. A look at the champions and the challengers ahead of what I'm sure will be a competitive tag team matchup over that prestigious gold, the WWE World Tag Team titles. It's already been an eventful evening here tonight in the Honda Center. Anaheim, California has been rocking. Your final pay-per-view stop before the road to WrestleMania continues right here tonight. Elimination Chamber, DIY versus the New Day for the tag team gold. And Woods right off the get-go dropping Ciampa on the knees, looking to break a rib and get to the cover, but Ciampa gets the shoulder up. It's going to be very interesting to see the strategy, specifically of DIY tonight. What is their mentality coming into this matchup? They know they own a tag team victory over the New Day, but their momentum has been shifted the last few weeks thanks as we mentioned, those singles victories to Woods and Kofi Kingston. Singles losses, I should say, to Ciampa, for Ciampa and Gargano, as the tag is made to Kofi Kingston there. Ciampa gets back into the ring, but he gets sent back right over the top rope. And the New Day's Kofi Kingston, the former WWE champion, has got tag team gold on his mind. Kofi Kingston, wait a minute, running head start. Look at that maneuver by Kofi. Caution in the wind. The former WWE champion, the former United States champion, the former Intercontinental champion, and how many reigns have the New Day had? They ain't slowing down anytime soon. They want another crack at the gold, and they want another WrestleMania moment. And that is what lies ahead on the line in this matchup tonight. As Kofi hits the ropes, goes for the knee, but Ciampa gets out of the way. Kofi's got to be careful. Doesn't want to get overzealous with some of those high-risk maneuvers, because I'm sure Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano have studied the playbook of one of the most successful teams in WWE history as Kofi Kingston continues to bring momentum to the New Day's corner. So top rope Kofi goes, and Gargano, I think, might have tripped up Kofi there. And that takes the momentum for DIY, and the World Tag Team Champions now in control of your third of 8 matches tonight here at Elimination Chamber. Already tonight, the Intercontinental Championship successfully defended by the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, handing Karrion his first loss on Raw since returning to the WWE. And just moments ago, Becky Lynch surviving the Elimination Chamber matchup. She will challenge either Tegan Nox or Asuka for the women's title at WrestleMania. And so to come in your main event, your second of 2 Elimination Chamber matches coming your way, courtesy of Friday Night SmackDown. The winner will face the winner of tonight's World Championship matchup between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, also at the grandest stage of them all. Tommaso Ciampa back in. Kofi take out the legs. Wait a minute, small package by the Blackheart. This could be all she wrote. Ciampa trying to steal the victory. Kofi got the shoulder up. Xavier Woods got in there, and Gargano took him out. Now this is where Kofi's got to be careful. Can't let Woods be down and out for too long, because DIY will pick apart Kofi Kingston. Ciampa on the top rope. Look at that, can't second guess Kofi Kingston there. Ciampa second guessed his own actions inside of the ring as he saw Kofi getting to his feet, but you can't do that against a superstar the caliber of Kofi Kingston, who comes off the top rope with a splash into the cover to win the gold. Ciampa gets the shoulder up. We can talk about how successful the New Day has been in their WWE careers, but once again, you can't count out DIY. They were the ones to dethrone Damian Priest and Dominik Dijakovic, who once again held the gold from September the 10th, 2022, all the way up till a few weeks ago, January the 1st at the Royal Rumble. Gargano and Ciampa took Priest and Dijakovic to the limit, walked out of Toronto with the gold. Johnny Gargano back in. Kofi Kingston's worse for wear on the canvas right now as Gargano heading to the top rope and hits a splash of his own. A little bit of an added oomph on there by Gargano, who doesn't go for the cover, elects for a submission hold instead, and Kofi Kingston far away from his tag team partner, but Xavier Woods going to come to him to break up the near fall. Gargano trying to take care of Xavier Woods. They've gotten caught off guard and just darts Xavier Woods into the corner. And Woods again gets taken out of the equation. And obviously not working in the favor of the New Day, but that really works out for DIY if they can keep one half of the New Day out of this matchup. But Kofi Kingston trying to win this thing here. Not just yet, as Gargano's in. Ciampa in. Referee's got to get Ciampa out of there. There he goes. Kofi Kingston once again going alone in this matchup, but he could really use a tag to Xavier Woods right now. But nonetheless, Kofi, by hook or by crook, will tie to win this matchup. What a leg drop! Kofi Kingston knows how to take it to the air, almost better than anybody in WWE. Into the cover, almost had the championships there, off the 2 count, but Johnny Gargano gets the shoulder up. Now Kofi, little this, little vintage off the boom drop. And that could be all she wrote. A vintage maneuver from Kofi Kingston. But Ciampa's in there to break it up. And that could have been it right there. Oh, Kofi Kingston has had enough of DIY, splitting off from his tag team partners. Again, Xavier Woods get taken out of the equation, but Kofi Kingston trying to steal the win here, not just yet. Again, Woods gets taken out of this matchup. DIY are just focusing on Kofi Kingston any chance they get. Really cutting Xavier Woods out of the equation here. Oh, and Gargano hit Kofi with his own move. The trouble in paradise. Xavier Woods in to break it up at the last second, but that is nothing new by Gargano. Wait a minute, he's going for a Gargano escape on Woods. Obviously not the legal man, but trying to at least take him out. And Kofi says, fine, I'm gonna take out Ciampa. And now things are starting to break down in this tag team matchup. Gargano again focusing on Xavier Woods here while Kofi's got his bell rung. Gargano hit that trouble in paradise on Kofi again. Nothing new by Gargano. He had used Dominik Dijakovic's own move, the Feast Your Eyes, to defeat Dijakovic and Priest back at the Royal Rumble. And Kofi Kingston finally tagging in Xavier Woods. Woods is obviously taking some offense, but at least got to be fresher than the New Day's Kofi. Kofi was able to survive thanks to his tag team partner, and now Xavier Woods going to try to get the New Day back into this World Tag Team Championship matchup. Woods off the top rope, goes for the missile drop kick, but Gargano sidesteps it. And that is not good. Wait a minute. Johnny Gargano, once again, Gargano escape on Xavier Woods. This time is the legal man. Kofi Kingston, they break it up here, but the referee, Gargano's holding on. Gargano's holding on tight. And Kofi breaking it up again, and Gargano finally forced to break the hold. And now into the cover, trying to steal the victory. But Kofi's got his back turned, but Xavier Woods gets the shoulder up. And DIY has almost had this match on a few occasions. Close falls by the New Day here. Are they going to be able to get back into this and win the World Tag Team titles tonight in Anaheim? Shining Wizard by Xavier Woods. Is that the maneuver that gets the New Day back in this fight? Oh, look at this strength by Xavier Woods, no doubt the strongest competitor in this contest. Press slam onto the knees, just like we saw him hit the Ciampa off the opening bell. Woods is heading up top, goes for a splash, and he hits it flush, immediately into the cover. It's gonna hurt even more with somebody the size of Xavier Woods, but Gargano's still able to muscle it up. Matchup not done yet. Very competitive tag team match for the World Tag Team titles. Xavier Woods, was going for a bulldog there, but Gargano was able to push him off. Gargano, snap suplex. No wasted motion, nothing fancy there by Johnny Wrestling, just an effective maneuver. And now tags in the Blackheart of DIY, Tommaso Ciampa. Oh, wait a minute, kick to the gut. Ciampa's got Xavier Woods up, and he drops him on the knees. And that could be all she wrote for the New Day, but Kofi Kingston in to break things up. Kofi saving the New Day's hopes, or at least for a second, as he gets sent to the outside. Ciampa, wait a minute, tags Johnny Gargano back in. Woods is all kind of beat up on the canvas, and Gargano, for the third time in the matchup, locks in the Gargano escape on Xavier Woods, and Woods has got nowhere to go. DIY retains the World Tag Team Championships. DIY came in with a strategy to effectively cut the New Day in half and really worked over Kofi Kingston for the majority of this matchup. But you see, they reversed it there, took Kofi out of the equation, singled out Xavier Woods, and it was enough for DIY to get the victory here tonight at the Elimination Chamber.
Here are your winners and still World Tag Team Champions, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY.
A great effort by Kofi and Xavier Woods, but unfortunately they go 0-2 in tag team competition against these two gentlemen. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano still your WWE World Tag Team Champions.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE United States Championship.
It is a championship heavy night here in Anaheim, and the action continues courtesy of Friday Night SmackDown. The United States Championship is on the line, and here comes the #1 contender, the king of strong style, and a former United States champion in his own right, Shinsuke Nakamura. You see Nakamura's buddy Rick Boogs in his corner. Nakamura earning this United States Championship matchup over the last few weeks, but really the issues developed between Lashley and Nakamura after Lashley's beatdown in the process of victory against Rick Boogs a few weeks ago on SmackDown. Nakamura a few weeks ago as well earned a victory over Elias, and this past Friday night earned a victory over Lashley's right-hand man, Montel Vontavious Porter. So Nakamura absolutely coming in a deserving challenger tonight. You remember, this is not the first time that Nakamura in recent history has had an opportunity to become the United States champion. It was back on the final Friday Night SmackDown prior to the Royal Rumble that Nakamura and old rival Finn Balor competed in a triple threat match with the almighty Lashley, and Bobby Lashley pinned Nakamura in that matchup to retain the United States Championship. So Nakamura has worked his way back into contention, and now on the road to WrestleMania, he's looking to get one over on Bobby Lashley, do one good for his buddy Rick Boogs, and walk out of Anaheim the new United States champion. But speaking of the champion, Honda Center has been taken over by the Almighty, with MVP in his corner. The dominating Bobby Lashley has arrived. Lashley won that title back on December the 21st in Columbus, Ohio, at Saturday night's main event against the man who only held the championship for 9 nights, that being Mustafa Ali. It was an incredible contest, but Lashley came out the victor. Has held the U.S. gold ever since, and as we just mentioned, already with a successful championship defense under his belt. The title goes up again tonight, and on the road to WrestleMania, is Lashley going to be the one walking into the grandest stage of them all, the United States Heavyweight Champion, courtesy of Friday Night SmackDown. We've been talking about it all night. Who is gonna hold the gold walking into WrestleMania next month? Lashley wanted to make sure that his name is on the WrestleMania marquee, and he can do so by making sure he walks out of Anaheim with the gold that's currently around his waist. It's been an incredible night here at Elimination Chamber thus far, but the action continues for the WWE United States Championship. Let's send things down to the ring for your official match introductions.
Introducing the challenger from Kyoto, Japan, weighing in at 220 pounds. He is the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. And introducing the champion from Colorado Springs, Colorado, weighing in at 273 pounds. He is the WWE United States Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Well, the stage is set for your next contest here tonight at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Elimination Chamber. The #1 contender, the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, versus the United States Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. Rick Boogs in the corner of Nakamura, MVP in the corner of Bobby Lashley. As we mentioned, Nakamura defeated MVP this past Friday night on SmackDown. Big momentum in the corner of the challenger, but here we go. The title's on the line here at the Elimination Chamber. This is really, once again, to determine who's going to walk into WrestleMania holding the United States Championship. We will find out by the end of this matchup. Lashley right now taking the fight to Nakamura. What an incredible night it's been thus far here in Anaheim. What a way we kicked off the night with Pete Dunne retaining the Intercontinental Championship and handing Karrion his first loss since returning to Monday Night Raw. Still to come tonight, the World Heavyweight Championship of Friday Night SmackDown to be decided when the champion Seth freaking Rollins defends against the winner of the SmackDown Rumble, the #1 contender Dolph Ziggler. Nakamura right now, the #1 contender for the United States Championship, but looking to leave the holder of that prestigious gold. Both these men, Nakamura has held the United States Championship before. This is not Lashley's first reign with the title either. Nakamura also a former two-time NXT champion, former tag team champion here in the WWE as well, has held the Intercontinental title. Now his sights are set once again on the United States Championship. As for Bobby Lashley, we have seen him in the last year hold the WWE Championship. As we mentioned, this is not his first time holding the United States title. Former Intercontinental champion as well, former ECW champion. Both these men have had decorated careers here in the WWE. Looking to add another accolade here tonight. And Nakamura, what a black hole slam. Great strength by the challenger on the obvious stronger competitor in Bobby Lashley. Only a 1 count there, but Nakamura pulling out some offense that we don't particularly normally see him do on SmackDown. That black hole slam reaching deep into the arsenal as the King of Strong Style there, but can't take your eyes off Lashley. Look at that, used his strength to his advantage, took Nakamura off his feet, tried going for the leverage pin. Nakamura able to get out of it, but the momentum shifts to the United States Champion's corner. Nakamura down, and Lashley going to continue the beatdown inside the squared circle for the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley has been dominant ever since winning that United States gold. Again, defeated Mustafa Ali at Saturday night's main event back on December the 21st, retained it on the final SmackDown of 2022 against Nakamura and Finn Balor in a triple threat matchup. And just recently on Friday Night SmackDown, Lashley defeated that man in the red on the outskirts of the ring, Rick Boogs, which really turned Nakamura's sights to Bobby Lashley. He wanted to test himself one-on-one against Lashley. No triple threat match this time around, just a one-on-one fight. Well, Lashley into the cover off the power slam, but again a 1 count. Nakamura showing heart, showing resilience tonight, not looking to leave Anaheim empty-handed. It's going to take a lot of intestinal fortitude to knock Bobby Lashley down and out for 3 seconds or more in this matchup. Nakamura's got the tools to KO his opponent. He just did it to MVP just a few nights ago on Friday Night SmackDown, but can he do it to the almighty champion Bobby Lashley tonight? Nakamura, nice reversal there. Now the King of Strong Style looking to show some of that offense. Nice kick to the back of the head. Lashley goes down for a moment, but you can't keep Bobby Lashley, underestimate him, I should say. Got to keep the momentum going. Got to keep the offense going. You see Nakamura hesitated there, and it backfired. Able to connect with that kick, and now Shinsuke, look at this. Got Lashley all kinds of tied up and into a backbreaker on the knee. Now Shinsuke continuing with the offense. A little bit fast-paced, and Shinsuke Nakamura trying to build some momentum in this contest after Lashley was really working over the King for a few moments. Nakamura off the second rope, drops that knee, right on the head of the Almighty, who goes for a clothesline there, absolutely whiffs it as Nakamura gets out of the way, and now Shinsuke slams the champion down on the canvas, and the challenger is in control. Nakamura building some momentum. Oh, wait a minute. I believe MVP slid that steel chair into the ring, and now MVP taking Nakamura's eye off the ball, mouthed it off to the King of Strong Style. The beef from this past Friday night on SmackDown, and it allows Bobby Lashley to come from behind. A lariat to the back of the head of Shinsuke Nakamura. MVP paying dividends to the United States champion here tonight. And just like that, Bobby Lashley is back into this matchup. That was a mistake by Shinsuke, obviously to no fault of himself. Referee luckily going to get that steel chair out of here that MVP brought into play. Any means necessary to take Nakamura's eye off the ball. To get Bobby Lashley back into this matchup. Wait a minute, Lashley's got Nakamura up. Dominator! And that may be all she wrote. Into the cover to retain the United States Championship. Not just yet as Nakamura gets the shoulder up. A close call by Bobby Lashley, almost leaving Anaheim still your United States champion. Lashley pacing the ring right now. I don't think he expected Nakamura to get the shoulder up. Lashley came charging. Nakamura hit it with the Kinshasa. New champion. Not just yet as Lashley gets the shoulder up, but what a counter by Nakamura. Setting the stage here, Lashley hit that Dominator. Nakamura kicked out. Lashley was pacing the ring, could not believe Shinsuke got the shoulder up. Looked like he might have been charging Nakamura for a spear, and Shinsuke countered with the Kinshasa. Lashley survives, and the matchup rolls on here in the Honda Center. We have got a battle on our hands with these two SmackDown superstars with the prestigious US gold on the line. What a counter that was by Nakamura. Lashley, however, you smell the sense of urgency from the champion right now. He knows Nakamura still got fight after he kicked out of the Dominator and got the leg up for the Kinshasa. Almost had Lashley there and almost a second away from walking out United States champion. Lashley continuing the fight. Nakamura gets whipped into the corner, and Bobby Lashley's wheels are spinning right now. He knows he's got to go. Oh, wait a minute. There's a counter by Nakamura. Shinsuke trying to make sure Lashley doesn't build the right momentum to get the job done. The King of Strong Style swinging with everything he's got, but Lashley with a big boot takes Nakamura off his feet. And now Bobby Lashley, well, I don't even need to speak Lashley's little sign there. I think everybody knows what he was telling Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura at ringside, but Lashley took his eye off the ball, and Nakamura's getting back into this fight. Don't count out the former multiple-time NXT champion in Shinsuke Nakamura. There's Lashley again, and back and forth the momentum starts to shift in this matchup, and a close call right there. Lashley almost stealing the win over Shinsuke Nakamura. Again, the momentum shifting back and forth in this United States Championship affair. Nakamura now back in control. Sends Lashley for a ride face first on the canvas. And now into the cover by Shinsuke to win the title. Lashley gets the shoulder up, and the United States Championship matchup continues another moment. Now momentum again shifts to Bobby Lashley's corner. What's it going to take for one of these gentlemen to put the other away here tonight in Anaheim? Lashley whipping Nakamura off. Nakamura with the block. Shinsuke grabs the champion and tosses him over the top rope and down to the floor. Nakamura bringing this fight to the outside, and I'm not sure, as Strong Style, as hard-hitting as Nakamura is, I don't know if he wants to brawl with Bobby Lashley. Lashley on the apron, going for the axe hammer, whiffs it. Thought Nakamura was a little closer from his vantage point, and Nakamura sends Lashley to the apron. Oh, wait a minute, what's Shinsuke got in mind? The champion gets slammed right on the hardest part of the ring again. And Lashley with a mistake there a moment ago has gave the momentum to Shinsuke Nakamura in this matchup. Nakamura, however, gets back in the ring and is met with a strong lariat by the Almighty. Well, uncharacteristic for Lashley as he goes to the top rope and hits an elbow on Shinsuke Nakamura. Doing whatever he takes to walk out the champion tonight. And Lashley, kick to the gut, could be going for the Dominator again. Wait a minute. Spins out with it, and Nakamura eats the canvas. And that may be all she wrote to retain the title. Not just yet, as Nakamura gets the shoulder up. Shinsuke Nakamura is reaching down deep tonight. The intestinal fortitude for the challenger, not wanting to leave empty-handed, but Lashley's not done. He's got Nakamura in his grasp again, and Nakamura eats the canvas for the second time in a row into the cover. And Bobby Lashley retains the United States Championship. What a fight that was. Nakamura gave that match his all, but in the end, your winner, and still the United States Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. MVP in the ring to celebrate with his man, the United States Champ. Oh, wait a minute, Lashley dissing the handshake of MVP, and he's telling MVP to get lost. I don't think Lashley appreciates MVP getting involved in this matchup. But nonetheless, an interesting situation there, but that man, Bobby Lashley, is leaving Anaheim, California, still your United States Heavyweight Champion of Friday Night SmackDown.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Raw Women's Championship.
Well, earlier tonight, we determined that the man, Becky Lynch, will challenge for the WWE Women's Championship at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. But the question remains, who will be on the opposite side of the squared circle from the man come the end of February, and the WWE Women's Championship will be on the line. The number one contender, the shiningest wizard, Tegan Nox, made her WWE return back in December, and she has been nothing short of impressive ever since. When Shotzi was ruling the division as the champion, Tegan Nox took her to the limit, and ever since then, Tegan earned this opportunity by defeating Dakota Kai in a number one contenders matchup. And you remember this past Monday night on Raw, Tegan with a big-time physical victory over one half of the women's tag team champions, Indy Hartwell. Tegan Nox with the opportunity of a lifetime tonight. An absolutely deserving challenger, but a very intimidating opposer on the opposite side of the ring. She dethroned the ballsy badass back at the Royal Rumble on January 1st, concluding a 6+ month rivalry. Tonight, Asuka defends the gold for the first time since winning it again. The Empress of Tomorrow has arrived in Anaheim. Asuka has been a decorated competitor in her WWE career. NXT Women's Champion, champion on Raw and SmackDown, formerly a Women's Tag Team Champion as well. And over the last year, she is now in the midst of her second championship reign yet again. Again, Asuka won that title in an early match of the year candidate back at the Royal Rumble on New Year's night against the ballsy badass Shotzi. Asuka defends the gold for the first time since the Royal Rumble, and not only is the championship on the line, but who will walk into WrestleMania holding the Women's Championship of the World, and who will defend against the man, Becky Lynch, who survived the Elimination Chamber earlier tonight? We are going to find out right here, right now. It has been an incredible night here at the Honda Center in Anaheim, and the championship matches continue. This one coming your way from Monday Night Raw. The gold around the waist is up for grabs. Is Asuka going to WrestleMania? Or is tonight the night for the shiningest wizard of WWE, Tegan Nox? We're going to find out right here, right now.
Introducing the challenger from the Welsh Valleys, Tegan Nox. And introducing the champion from Osaka, Japan, the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka.
Asuka is dominating. She is intimidating, but take nothing away from the number one contender. A woman who has came back from not one but 2 ACL surgeries. She has fought with grit and determination to get to the spotlight here tonight. And with WrestleMania looming, neither one of these women is looking to let that opportunity slip through their hands. It is a big fight feel here in Anaheim. The WWE Women's Championship is on the line and we are underway. Tegan Nox versus Asuka. Off the dropkick there by the Shiningest Wizard. Tegan's got an incredible style inside of that ring. She can really hit hard, but she also can take it to the sky. Tegan Nox, one of the best overall athletes in the women's division in my eye. And Asuka, as dominant as she's been throughout her WWE career, and especially over the last few months, gaining back the Women's Championship after only had it gone missing between Thanksgiving and January 1st. Will Asuka be losing the championship yet again? Is she underestimating Tegan Nox? That is a question as well. Again, this is Tegan's only 4th match since returning to the WWE. She's 2-1 so far, but has absolutely earned her opportunity yet again here tonight. Is Asuka's already sights? Does Asuka already have her sights, on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? Is she overlooking the Shiningest Wizard, Tegan Nox? If that is the case, expect Nox to capitalize and leave the Honda Center the women's champion. And right now, Asuka's sending her over the top rope down to the floor of this very arena. Asuka's trying to get to the outside. The referee's trying to maintain control here. He can't knock the referee. Not wanting to see this thing turn out into a brawl. 2 incredible professional wrestlers in that squared circle tonight between Tegan and Asuka. The referee and I think the entire capacity crowd here in Anaheim wants to see this one be a fair fight. Beautiful arm drag by Tegan Nox, a simple but effective maneuver there by the #1 contender. I'm sure the woman who outlasted 5 others in the Elimination Chamber earlier tonight, the man Becky Lynch, has got her eyes on this contest. Will she go one-on-one against the current champion Asuka at WrestleMania, or is Tegan Nox's dream gonna ride her all the way into the grandest stage of them all and defend the gold against Becky Lynch? We'll find out the next time we hear a bell in this matchup. But Tegan Nox right now has got the Empress of Tomorrow exactly where she wants her. Into the cover. Is she gonna win the title here? Asuka with the kick out, and I think Tegan really knew that she wasn't gonna put Asuka away there, but the near fall could be a mental strategy to try to get in the head of the Empress of Tomorrow. We'll talk about Tegan Nox and her strikes inside of that ring. I think Asuka may do it better than anybody in the WWE. Her strikes, her kicks, her offense, the reason she has always been so dominant and the reason she is once again the women's champion. And the power of Asuka, showcasing her abilities tonight and showcasing she has the strength advantage over Tegan Nox. The 2nd time in the match, she has sent Tegan over the top rope and down to the floor. That is no easy fall. Tegan rushes back into the ring, but falls right into the grasp of Asuka, and that may have played right into the strategy of the women's champion. Again, Asuka, she cannot take Tegan Nox lightly. I'm sure she's coming into this match with a blueprint, but Tegan Nox is as well. Fall away slam into the bridge. Elects not to go for the cover. Knows she's going to have to do more offense on the women's champion to walk away with the gold tonight. You got to question, what is the condition of the #1 contender coming into this matchup? Off the code breaker from Asuka, but as we mentioned, Tegan Nox, oh wait a minute here, Asuka into that leg lock, wrenching on the ankle and even into the knee of the #1 contender, the surgically repaired knee of Tegan Nox. You know, we mentioned earlier that Tegan Nox has fought back in her career through not 1 but 2 ACL surgeries. Asuka knows that, and she's looking to put that into her strategy tonight. And then as we are about to mention, Tegan Nox, what is her capabilities coming into this match? What percent is she at after that physical altercation with Indy Hartwell this past Monday night on Raw? She, of course, won the matchup, but it was definitely no easy task for the #1 contender. She might have momentum by her side, but will her body keep up as Asuka is picking apart the #1 contender at the current moment? Tegan trying to strike, but the Empress is just having her way with Tegan Nox. But the Shiningest Wizard not going to go down without a fight here tonight. She knows the opportunity that is at stake. And a running uppercut. And now Tegan going to the top rope. As we mentioned earlier, she knows how to take it to the air. Elbow drop. Asuka tried getting out of the way. but instead she just took the elbow to the lower back, which may have hurt Asuka even more here, but only a 1 count by the #1 contender. Not what Nox was looking for. Lady King's gonna need to reach deep down in the repertoire, pull out possibly that choke slam or something else to beat Asuka. Wait a minute here. Hip attack by the women's champion. A signature maneuver out of the arsenal of the Empress of Tomorrow into the cover on Tegan Nox to go to WrestleMania. Not just yet as the #1 contender survives. Tegan Nox again, not going down without a fight. Oh, look at this. Stacks up Asuka. Tegan Nox is looking to steal this victory and become the women's champion, but Asuka pushes off. Referee was a little out of position there. Could have got down a little quicker, but at the end of the day, the matchup continues on for another moment. Now Nox putting Asuka on the top rope. But look at this. Trying to go for an arm drag there. Would have been a big time maneuver to take down the champion, but Asuka had it scouted and a splash for the champion. Asuka had Tegan Nox read like a book there. And now wait a minute. Oh no, Tegan Nox is in trouble. If Asuka wrenches this in, Asuka luck is locked in. Tegan Nox is struggling, nowhere to go, too far away from the ropes. Can she break the grip? She cannot. Nox taps out. Asuka retains the women's championship. Well, Nox fought hard, but again, we don't know the condition of her coming into this matchup. And then on top of that, being met with the offense of the Empress of Tomorrow. At the end of the day, just too much for Tegan Nox to handle tonight. Asuka is on her way to the grandest stage of them all.
Here is your winner and still the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka!
With that victory, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, will defend the gold against the man, Becky Lynch. Our first contest for WrestleMania is officially signed and determined. Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's Championship at the grandest stage of them all in Tampa Bay, Florida. Well, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, the Friday Night SmackDown main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins set to defend the gold against the winner of the SmackDown Rumble, the show-off Dolph Ziggler. This story began in the lead-up to the All-Star Kickoff when Seth Rollins defeated Dolph Ziggler and used him as an opportunity to send a message to the locker room. Ziggler never forgot, and all roads lead to tonight. Let's take a look at the tale of the tape between these two competitors. Dolph Ziggler with the 1-pound advantage, Rollins with the 1-foot advantage. Ziggler, a former World Heavyweight Champion. He's held the big gold before. 6-time Intercontinental Champion, Ziggler's most decorated accolade. And he is the 22nd Triple Crown Champion in WWE history. This is going to be a great fight. The world title is on the line next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Who is going to defend the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania? We will decide their challenger later tonight in your main event, but we will decide the holder of the big gold belt right here, right now. You saw the tale of the tape moments ago. This man, the show-off Dolph Ziggler, has held the World Heavyweight Championship before. And of course, he obtained that with one of the greatest Money in the Bank cash-ins of all time, coming after the Raw after WrestleMania in 2013. Ziggler's a 6-time Intercontinental Champion. Earlier last year, he was the NXT Champion, United States Champion, Tag Team Champion. Ziggler's done a little bit of everything here in the WWE. But he's looking to head back to the grandest stage of them all and have his biggest matchup to date on that stage, and that's by defending the World Heavyweight Championship. But he's got to get through the visionary, the revolutionary, and of course the current World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins has been on a roll ever since joining Friday Night SmackDown in the draft after Survivor Series. As we mentioned, this story really began in the lead up to the All-Star Kickoff and a World Championship qualifier between Rollins and Ziggler. Rollins won the matchup and then afterwards targeted Dolph Ziggler with a beatdown to simply send a message to everybody else participating for the world title in that series. Ziggler had not forgotten about that attack, has trying to get this opportunity ever since. He was a participant in the Royal Rumble matchup, unfortunately came up short, but Ziggler was able to bounce back just a few days later on Friday Night SmackDown, entrant number 1 and only the second ever SmackDown Rumble. Ziggler outlasted 9 other superstars, got the most eliminations in that match, and punched his ticket to tonight. Is this the opportunity that at this stage in his career the show-off has been waiting for? One more chance to hold the World Heavyweight Championship. One more chance to main event WrestleMania. But Seth Rollins has been operating on an extraordinary level over the last few months. Is that going to slow down tonight? Is Dolph Ziggler the kryptonite to the visionary of Friday Night SmackDown? We're going to find out in moments right here at Elimination Chamber.
Introducing the challenger from Hollywood, Florida, weighing in at 218 pounds, Dolph Ziggler. And introducing the champion from Davenport, Iowa, weighing in at 217 pounds, he is the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins has been on a roll, as we mentioned, ever since joining Friday Night SmackDown back in November in the draft. He retained that World Heavyweight Championship just a few weeks ago at the Royal Rumble in an incredible matchup versus the franchise John Cena. Will the result be the same against Dolph Ziggler? Or is this the opportunity that, as we mentioned, the show-off has been waiting for? World Championships on the line, and we are underway here in Anaheim, California. Later tonight, we will determine who will fight one of these men at WrestleMania inside the Elimination Chamber for the world title. But right now, we decide who walks into Tampa Bay, Florida, Raymond James Stadium, with the Big Gold Championship. A title that Ziggler has held in the past. Unfortunately, that championship reign back in 2013 really didn't pan out as well for Ziggler. A concussion really threw off the entire situation. All these years later, a decade later, can Dolph Ziggler win the title again? Rollins taking the fight to Ziggler. Seth Rollins in recent weeks owns victories over the Hurricane, over Dominic Mysterio, John Cena at the Royal Rumble, as we mentioned. Rollins has been on an unstoppable roll. Remember, he won that title back at the All-Star Kickoff on December the 9th by defeating Robert Roode, Drew McIntyre, and John Cena in a fatal 4-way elimination contest. It is Dolph Ziggler, if he can get back into this matchup, as we had talked about, going to be the kryptonite to the Revolutionaries Championship reign. Ziggler hopes that is going to be the case. These two men with recent history with each other, they faced many a times throughout the years. They know each other well. Does Dolph Ziggler got it in him tonight to defeat Seth Rollins? A man he has beaten in the past, but can he do it when the marbles are on the line? Dolph looking good right now. Going to take things slow, but also take the fight to the World Heavyweight Champion. Doesn't want to get overzealous, but also doesn't want to let up. Nice counter by the World Champion, and Seth Rollins takes down the challenger. It was also a few weeks ago on Friday Night SmackDown that Dolph Ziggler, hot off a win against Alpha Academy's Otis, was ambushed by the world champion Seth Rollins. Rollins laying out the challenger on that night to send him a message. Has that only fired up the #1 contender even more? Ziggler's been chomping at the bit to get at Seth Rollins ever since that matchup at the end of November, leading up to the All-Star Kickoff. And then with all the marbles on the line tonight, the recent attack by Rollins, is Dolph Ziggler going to fire under his ass that's going to lead him to championship glory tonight? And that submission hold on Rollins. Rollins able to get out of it a little early on in the matchup to keep somebody in the cowboy of Seth Rollins down, and what a counter by the World Heavyweight Champion. You might not like his egotistical attitude, but there is absolutely no knocking Seth Rollins' ability from bell to bell. He's had a decorated WWE career over the last 10 plus years, and now Rollins taking a moment to soak things in here in Anaheim, and I don't think that's a good idea. Rollins cannot take Dolph Ziggler lightly here tonight. Now Seth has got Ziggler. Oh no, ripcord knee to the show-off, and now into the cover. And Rollins about to punch his ticket to WrestleMania, not just yet. The grandest stage of them all looming at the end of February. Who is going to defend the World Championship in the Friday Night SmackDown main event at WrestleMania? Will it be Seth Rollins, or is Dolph Ziggler's dreams going to be capitalized on here this evening? Right now, Rollins is in firm control of this championship matchup. Now, it's been some time since Dolph Ziggler competed for a world championship here in the WWE, at least a couple of years. Is Dolph Ziggler feeling the pressure tonight, or is his experience in big match situations and his longevity in his WWE career making Dolph feel right at home tonight? There's another question to ask. In Dolph Ziggler's position, as Rollins sends the #1 contender over the top rope. Ziggler holds on, but Rollins with the snap bear and a hard fall to the outside by Dolph Ziggler. That is not going to go well for him in the championship rounds in this matchup. Ziggler's dazed, and Rollins with a suicide dive to the outside. The World Heavyweight Champion is putting on a show tonight. I think Rollins wants to prove that he's the true show-off of Friday Night SmackDown. The World Heavyweight Champion, the Visionary, the Revolutionary, has got Ziggler down and out, and he went for a splash off the apron. Ziggler got out of the way. Rollins crashing and burns. And I like the strategy by Dolph here. Instead of going right after Rollins, taking a moment to go back into the ring, catch his breath after the onslaught by Rollins the last few minutes. Ziggler trying to get back into this fight. The counter and the break, taking a breath for Ziggler, pays him dividends as the world champion is laying flat on the canvas right now. The show-off is in the driver's seat. I got a feeling we are just in the midst of a slobber knocker right now. Dolph Ziggler, as hungry as he is, with all the adrenaline. Oh, we almost had the super kick there, but Rollins got out of the way, lays out Ziggler with a big boot. Rollins saying no way. That was almost lights out for the Visionaries World Championship reign. A close call there for Seth Rollins' sake. Ziggler went for that super kick to no avail, but how close was that? Where he knocked Otis's lights out just 2 weeks ago on SmackDown with that very kick. It's also a few weeks ago on SmackDown prior to the Royal Rumble, Ziggler got a win over Shelton Benjamin. Now wait a minute, Ziggler's going to the top rope. The man who won the SmackDown Rumble looking to continue his momentum tonight. And you know what? Smart move by Ziggler there. He waited for Rollins to get to his feet. Right, he noticed Rollins was a little far out and decided not to risk the maneuver. Another smart strategy by Dolph. I really like Dolph's strategy in this contest. Sends Rollins over the top rope. Again, going to take a breath. He knows Seth is capable of going to championship rounds, and he wants to make sure he saves himself for that. Now Ziggler heads to the outside. Rushing leg sweep to the world champion to the ground below. And now Anaheim starting to hype up Dolph Ziggler here. Are we going to see a new world champion tonight? Here at the Elimination Chamber, your final pay-per-view stop before WrestleMania. It's been an amazing night, and the World Championship is being defended right here before our very eyes. Back and forth, a brawl on the outside, and Ziggler eats the barricade for Thanksgiving dinner. Seth Rollins now heading to the top rope. What the hell has he got in mind here as Ziggler is dazed and confused on the outside, and Rollins went for I believe a clothesline from the top, and Ziggler got out of the way. Lucky for the show-off as he sent Seth Rollins into the apron. Absolute chaos. Things are starting to break down in this World Championship match. Ziggler sees an opportunity to pass out the World Champion here. And I know it's on the outside of the ring. Does it matter? No. But effectively, this is going to do damage to Seth Rollins. He's tapping out on the outside of the ring. Obviously can't win the World Championship that way, but certainly can do a number on the champion. And the brawl continues on the outskirts of the squared circle. Rollins running away from Dolph, is finally able to catch a breath. And now here comes Rollins as he sends Dolph Ziggler over the top rope. Dolph trying to head back into the ring. The world champion's right there to cut off the momentum. This has been a great matchup thus far. Both guys fighting tooth and nail for the title here tonight. Ziggler sitting atop on the ropes, and Rollins with a Frankensteiner sends Dolph Ziggler dead center of the ring. And the world champion isn't done. High risk. Will it be high reward? Yes, it is, off the frog splash to retain the gold. Ziggler gets the shoulder up. It's a great series of move there by Seth Rollins. The Frankensteiner off the top put Dolph right in a position for that frog splash. He hit it flush, but Dolph Ziggler still showing signs of life. Back up on the top, but Dolph Ziggler starting to get his wits about him right now. Seth Rollins gets caught with the DDT, a vintage show-off maneuver. Oh, wait a minute, Ziggler's going into the corner. The #1 contender's tuning up the band. Super kick time, no! Rollins avoided it again. Now Rollins roll up, rope break there. Ziggler saved by the ropes. Rollins for the second time in the matchup avoiding disaster off that super kick. How close was that? And now Rollins delivers a kick to the chest of his own. Trying to break the heart of the #1 contender here tonight. Oh no, Seth Rollins. We've seen him put superstars away with this recently. The pedigree into the cover to retain the gold. Ziggler gets the shoulder up. Dolph Ziggler is not done yet. He ain't going down without a fight. Swinging for the fences is the show-off. A kick out after the pedigree. Rollins heading back up. Drops the elbow on Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler is reaving in pain on the canvas below. Oh, Rollins is fired up after the pedigree. Seth Rollins is coming unhinged right now. I don't think he expected Dolph Ziggler to survive that pedigree. Oh no, Rollins going for the final nail in the coffin. Curb stomp gets turned into a cutter by the show-off Dolph Ziggler. He's not going for the cover yet. He's got super kick by Ziggler. Ziggler to win the world title. He's going to WrestleMania. No, Seth Rollins gets the shoulder up. Oh my goodness, how close was that? What a matchup tonight. Ziggler survived the pedigree, countered out the curb stomp, and wait a minute, Rollins back up into the cover, and almost had Ziggler again there. Man, Ziggler was so close to winning the title there. Off that super kick, almost had the world champion. Rollins is back into this matchup, and you smell the sense of urgency out of the visionary. Failed to hit the curb stomp. Oh, wait a minute, I think Rollins is going. He's gonna do the deed. A rare occurrence by the Revolutionary. Superplex, Falcon Arrow combination into the cover. Seth Rollins retains the world championship. What a matchup. Anaheim showing their appreciation for these two competitors. And man, you got to feel for Dolph Ziggler, but credit where it's due. He gave this match his all, absolutely swung for the home run tonight, but unfortunately for him, Seth Rollins gets the last laugh, and Seth Rollins is rolling into Tampa Bay, Florida, still the World Heavyweight Champion. We will find out in your main event later tonight who Rollins will defend the gold against at the grandest stage of them all, but what a matchup here tonight for Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins at the Elimination Chamber. But coming up next is your Monday Night Raw main event. The WWE title is on the line. Mr. Pay-Per-View, Rob Van Dam versus the champion Randy Orton. The winner of this match challenges Riddle, the Royal Rumble winner, at the grandest stage of them all. Who's it gonna be? For 59 days, the apex predator of WWE, Randy Orton, has carved a dominating and destructive path across Monday Night Raw. Since winning the WWE Championship, inside Hell in a Cell at Survivor Series, the Viper has struck over and over again with victories over Austin Theory, Damian Priest, Dominik Dijakovic, and AJ Styles. But this isn't anything new for the man celebrating his 21st year in World Wrestling Entertainment. Randy Orton sits comfortably atop WWE, but the challenger awaiting is looking to add on to his already Hall of Fame career. The #1 contender, Rob Van Dam, stands across the ring from an old rival, but the stakes couldn't be any higher. Not only is the WWE Championship on the line, but the chance to defend that title in the main event of WrestleMania hanging in the balance. The 2023 Royal Rumble match winner Matt Riddle will sit back and await his WrestleMania opponent. Will it be the man who stood toe-to-toe with him in the final moments of the Rumble, or will it be the man who stabbed him in the back last summer? Randy Orton has no plans to step aside anytime soon. No matter the man who tries to stand in his way, Orton is looking to head into his 19th appearance at WrestleMania as the champion of WWE. But as for RVD, the Hall of Famer is looking to walk into his first WrestleMania since 2007, holding the richest prize in our industry. Who will be one half of the main event at the show of shows? Will it be the Apex Predator, or is Mr. Pay-Per-View himself riding a wave of momentum that can't be stopped? It's time to decide who will be the WWE Champion at WrestleMania. We find out right now.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Championship.
It is a big fight feel here in Anaheim, California. The Monday Night Raw main event to decide who will defend the gold against the 2023 Royal Rumble match winner, Matt Riddle, at WrestleMania. Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, RVD is in the house in Anaheim, and he's looking to win his second WWE Championship in his already Hall of Fame career. RVD has been the WWE Champion. He's been the ECW World Champion. He is a one-time European Champion, four-time WWE Hardcore Champion, six-time Intercontinental Champion, three-time Tag Team Champion. He has held the Money in the Bank contract, and how many memories has RVD given us over the years? Is RVD about to give us yet another one of those moments here tonight? Is Mr. Pay-Per-View about to punch his ticket to his first WrestleMania since WrestleMania 23 at Ford Field in 2007? But it is a tall task ahead of Rob Van Dam, the cold and calculated Apex Predator of WWE, Randy Orton. As you saw in the video package, isn't looking to step aside to anybody anytime soon. Orton has been on a path of destruction for months in the WWE, really ever since he kicked his former tag team partner Matt Riddle to the curb last summer. Orton has been undeniable and absolutely the face of WWE. Already has successfully defended that championship over Austin Theory and AJ Styles. And just over the last several months, he owns victories over Damian Priest, Dominik Dijakovic, the Rated R superstar Edge inside Hell in a Cell at Survivor Series. What about prior to Survivor Series? Orton has defeated Mustafa Ali, Drew McIntyre, John Cena. I mean, it's a Hall of Fame list of superstars that has fallen to the Viper over the last several months here in the WWE. Is Rob Van Dam going to be next on that list? That is the question. Or is Randy Orton already looking through RVD? Does Orton see WrestleMania in his far sight? And will RVD be able to capitalize and defeat an old rival to win the WWE Championship for the second time in his career tonight at Elimination Chamber?
Introducing the challenger from Battle Creek, Michigan, weighing in at 235 pounds, Rob Van Dam. And introducing the champion from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 250 pounds, he is the WWE Champion, the Viper, Randy Orton!
Who will defend the most prestigious prize in our industry, the WWE Championship, at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? Matt Riddle awaits his opponent. Will it be the Viper, or will it be Mr. Monday Night? We are going to find out right here. The lights are on bright at the Honda Center in Anaheim for your Monday Night Raw main event. RVD, look at this, taking the fight to Orton right off the get-go. This past Monday Night on Raw, RVD running it back with Cedric Alexander for the second time in less than a month. An incredible contest between those two men. RVD picked up the victory. After the matchup, Randy Orton tried hitting the ring and laying out his challenger for tonight, but RVD was ready, laid out Randy Orton in return, so momentum has got to be on the side of Mr. Monday Night tonight. He, of course, earned this opportunity by defeating Austin Theory on the Raw after the Royal Rumble and that epic ladder matchup on Monday Night Raw. So RVD, a deserving challenger, coming in with momentum tonight, but is it enough to take down Randy Orton? We already named the list of superstars that are fall to Orton. Wait a minute, RVD, very unique pinfall, trying to steal the win early, not just yet. We named the list of superstars that the Viper has spread his venom to over the last several months in the WWE. Has RVD done his homework? Does he have what it takes to defeat Randy Orton tonight, to avoid the RKO? Or is Randy Orton better than anybody right now? Is he better than his best? And is he going to be the one going to WrestleMania? Vintage maneuver by RVD. Oh, look at this. Speaking of vintage, split-legged moonsault by Van Dam. RVD is coming out swinging in this matchup. Orton gets the shoulder up, but RVD's got to be getting in the head of the WWE Champion off the opening bell. Of course, these two men with a lot of history with each other here in the WWE. You look back to almost 20 years ago now, Armageddon 2003. Randy Orton defeated Rob Van Dam on that night to win his first championship here in the WWE, that being the Intercontinental Championship, as RVD takes it to the sky, laying out Randy Orton. Fast forward 4 years later, Randy Orton and Rob Van Dam battled it out at WWE One Night Stand in 2007. Orton put RVD on the shelf with a punt kick to the head. Did not see RVD in WWE for several years after that, so history between these two men. RVD delivered a kick to his own to Randy Orton here, and Orton gets the shoulder up. And this matchup has been all Mr. Monday Night so far. Little to no offense out of the WWE Champion, and there's a counter just as we say that. Now Randy Orton trying to get back into this matchup, and goes right for the neck. Neck breaker on RVD. Orton, nobody is more dangerous in the WWE than that man right there, the WWE Champion Randy Orton. Nice shot to RVD. Just raking Mr. Monday Night's forehead. The Viper stomping on RVD right now. The WWE Champion picking apart the challenger. Nice counter there by RVD to avoid the assault, but Orton right there, pinning RVD in the corner these last few moments. And it is taking control for the WWE Champion. Orton has a very cold and slow-paced but calculated arsenal inside of that ring as RVD trying to steal the victory again. You really can't predict when Randy Orton is going to decide to strike his hardest. That, of course, meaning the RKO. RVD misses for that moonsault. Orton had it scouted there. Some moonsault off the top rope that got on the win over Cedric Alexander this past Monday Night on Raw. This belly-to-belly suplex there, slamming down Randy Orton to RVD. Randy Orton, oh, here we go. This is where Orton starts to pick apart his opponent, stomping away, limb by limb on the WWE Champion's #1 contender. And I went to the cover. Is that going to be all she wrote? RVD able to get the shoulder up, a close call in this matchup. Randy Orton moments away from retaining the title. RVD with the kip up there. Wait a minute, RKO! Early on in this match. matchup. Randy Orton strikes with the RKO. RVD gets the shoulder up at the last second, and you gotta believe it's the early moments of this matchup that allowed RVD to get the shoulder up. Randy Orton wasting no time to take no prisoners here tonight. Had the moment, decided to capitalize an RKO on RVD, but Van Dam was able to get the shoulder up, and that was back on the offense. Orton's down, RVD coming from the top with the leg drop. And into the cover to crown a new WWE Champion. No, Orton gets the shoulder up. Man, how close was that moments ago? Orton almost winning this matchup. And you gotta believe he would have had Randy Orton put the same amount of offense on RVD as RVD did vice versa. Went to the well too many times with the high-risk maneuvers. It cost him. Orton back into the cover. RVD able to avoid it here. The blood pressure has certainly rose in this contest after that RKO. Almost had an ending to this WWE Championship match in Anaheim. Now Orton, suplex, keeping it basic but effective there for the WWE Champion. RVD heads to the outside. Look at this, grabs the champion and throws him right into the barricade. RVD, no stranger to getting things extreme. A super kick on the outside of the ring. Oh, wait a minute, Van Dam's heading to the top rope. Orton better turn around because Van Dam knocks him with the axe hammer. RVD ain't afraid to brawl, ain't afraid to get physical. He can do very extraordinary, pretty things in between those ropes. But he knows how to get extreme on the outside, as we mentioned. Now Orton eats the barricade again. RVD can't win the championship out here, but he can certainly do a great deal of damage onto Randy Orton. Oh, now goes for the splash. Orton had it scouted, moved out of the way. RVD might have waited a little too long, had to go break up the count, gave Orton a moment to catch his breath in this WWE Championship matchup. This is your Monday Night Raw main event. We're live from the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. The winner of this matchup will defend the WWE Championship at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania, one-on-one with the 2023 Royal Rumble match winner, Matt Riddle. And RVD may be broken in half off that barricade. But still has got fight left in him. RVD knows how to take the pain, he knows how to absorb it, keep the adrenaline pumping, and he certainly knows how to deliver the offense as well. The fight continues on the outside of the ring as these superstars continue to break the count, and now RVD finds himself back leading this matchup. RVD inside the squared circle. Randy Orton going to take a moment to catch his breath, and here we are again. RVD running bulldog there, the champion. Orton on spaghetti legs. Van Dam may have found his spot in this matchup to capitalize yet again, and unloading on Randy Orton with those vintage kicks. RVD certainly knows how to use his feet and his strikes to his advantage, but there's Randy Orton with the counter. Back and forth these last few moments in this matchup. And there's another counter by RVD into the neck breaker. Van Dam looking good. Is he going to win the WWE Championship tonight? Is he going to go one-on-one with the man who eliminated him in the final moments of the Royal Rumble? There will be a chance at payback, certainly over Matt Riddle, and a chance tonight to become the WWE Champion. RVD misses off that kick. Orton still, he can't keep down the WWE Champion. Remember how he won the title once again. A brutal Hell in the Cell match back at Survivor Series versus a longtime rival, the Rated R superstar Edge. Orton has literally been to hell and back for this WWE Championship, and I'm sure he ain't afraid to go there again. But how many kicks, how many strikes from RVD can you take in a matchup like this before you simply have your lights turned off for good? Springboard, moonsault by the challenger to win the WWE Championship. That's got to do it. Now Orton gets the shoulder up. A moonsault won RVD the contest this past Monday Night on Raw. Not enough just yet tonight. Orton back on the offense here, and back and forth the momentum goes. A pendulum swinging from champion to challenger in your main event for Raw. Orton again delivering these stomps on RVD into the cover. Can RVD kick out? I don't know. He does. RVD gets the shoulder off the canvas. Orton cannot believe it. He thought that was 3. Oh, wait a minute here. Orton, whoa. A lot to call there. RVD kicked up. Orton was already lying in wait. No idea. RKO. Randy Orton wins and retains the WWE Championship. Oh my goodness, that was a hell of a matchup. RVD threw everything in the kitchen sink that he could at Randy Orton. But you saw there, Orton was already lying in wait. RVD had no idea. He kept up, but was met with the second RKO of this matchup. That first one earlier may have been early on, but there's no getting up from a second RKO out of nowhere.
Here is your winner, and still the WWE Champion, the Viper, Randy Orton.
Well, that was one hell of a WWE Championship fight, but the Apex Predator continues his path of destruction on Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton retains the WWE Championship, and most importantly, Randy Orton is going to the main event of WrestleMania, where he will defend the WWE Championship against the man he had originally swore to never step foot in the ring with again, the 2023 Royal Rumble match winner, Matt Riddle. That is going to be one hell of a fight in Raymond James Stadium, Tampa Bay, Florida. Get ready, because Orton and Riddle are coming for you. Oh, wait a minute! Speaking of the original bro, the 2023 Royal Rumble match winner is here in Anaheim, and for the first time since August, is here to confront his former tag team partner. Riddle's making a beeline for the ring. Randy Orton just fought off RVD, and Riddle lays out Randy Orton. The Royal Rumble match winner going after the WWE Champion. Riddle's been waiting since August 7th at Extreme Rules to get his hands on Randy Orton yet again. Referee's calling for the bell to try to stop this assault, but I don't know if anybody's going to be able to stop Riddle right now. He kept his word this whole time that he would never interfere in Randy Orton's business again, but now he has a reason. That reason being the WWE Championship. These two men will meet in the main event of WrestleMania, but Riddle is giving Randy Orton a little preview of what's to come in Tampa Bay, Florida. Riddle has waited long and hard for this moment. He's got to wait a little longer for the WWE Championship. Wait a minute, the sledgehammer. Oh, Orton avoided it. But remember back at Extreme Rules in August, Orton used that sledgehammer to put the final nail in the coffin of RK Bro for good, and Riddle has clearly not forgotten. Oh no, Riddle's got the hammer again, and right to the gut of the WWE Champion. If there was ever a time to send a message, tonight was the night, and message was sent loud and clear. Matt Riddle wants the WWE Championship at WrestleMania.
No matter who you are, now our future is gone. Monsters recreated all around. We have to survive now, sunshine is gone. What's left of the world live another round. But through the cold and fear, we see the dawn. We'll fight like the devil.
It is main event time from Anaheim, California. Who will challenge the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania?
The following contest is an Elimination Chamber match. Making his way to the ring from Hagerstown, Maryland, weighing in at 240 pounds, LA Knight.
The defiant LA Knight earned this opportunity alongside Robert Roode this past Friday night on SmackDown in a tag team Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup. They defeated Jeff Hardy and his tag team partner, the Hurricane, to punch their tickets to the Chamber tonight. And the defiant LA Knight, the first man to take a spot inside one of 4 pods. Same rules apply as earlier this evening. 4 people will enter the pods. 2 men will start. The last man standing will be on his way to the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. And after the World Championship matchup earlier tonight, we now know who will defend the gold in Tampa Bay. That, of course, being the revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins.
And his opponents, first, from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 182 pounds, Mustafa Ali.
The man who most recently held the United States Championship on Friday Night SmackDown wants to hold the biggest championship he can hold, and that's the World Heavyweight title. And what a predicament Seth Rollins would find himself in at WrestleMania if Mustafa Ali is on the other side of the ring. Remember the history between those 2 men dating back to last spring and summer. Ali with 4 or 5 victories, whatever it was, over Seth Rollins time after time. If anybody knows Rollins and how to get it done, it's that man, Mustafa Ali. If I was the revolutionary, I'd be very afraid of facing the heart and soul of Friday Night SmackDown again. But here comes a man who is looking to have a bounce back year in 2023. The Scottish Warrior. This fire-breathing son of a bitch, Drew McIntyre, enters the dangerous Elimination Chamber.
And from Ayr, Scotland, weighing in at 254 pounds, Drew McIntyre.
It is no secret the lackluster 2022 that Drew McIntyre had here in the WWE. He failed on multiple occasions to obtain the Intercontinental Championship, the WWE Championship. Failed in those main event spots, in those big-time spotlight matches. We have talked about how McIntyre is looking to have a bounce-back year in 2023, and what better way to make a comeback than to punch your ticket to the Friday Night SmackDown main event at WrestleMania. McIntyre knows what it's like to be in that stage. It was just 3 years ago that he defeated Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship in the main event of Mania. Can McIntyre get back to the show of shows here tonight? Or will it be this man? He is no stranger to the main event as well. The franchise is in Anaheim.
And from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing in at 251 pounds, John Cena!
John Cena took on Seth Rollins back at the Royal Rumble on January 1st for the World Heavyweight Championship. He came up short on that night. You roll back a little even further to December the 9th at the All-Star Kickoff. The 4-way elimination matchup came down to Cena and Rollins won again. Is a third time going to be a charm if John Cena can face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania? He is a 16-time world champion, and John Cena wants to make that number 17. Can he get the job done? Inside a matchup he is no stranger to, the Elimination Chamber. He has won inside this structure before. He's main evented WrestleMania countless times. He has won the big one countless times. Is Seth Rollins, however, the kryptonite to John Cena's 17th World Championship aspirations? That is a question that we could only find out in due time. The 4 pods have been filled. We now know the 2 men that'll start this matchup, one of them being a former NXT World Champion, the glorious Robert Roode. The Elimination Chamber just became that much more glorious.
And from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 235 pounds, the glorious Robert Roode.
As we mentioned, Robert Roode is a former NXT champion as well as a former tag team champion here in the WWE and a former United States champion, but he has never held the WWE or World Heavyweight Championship. Is tonight the night that Robert Roode takes that next step? He is a veteran of the ring, a veteran of the squared circle, but he's never been in the main event of WrestleMania, and he's never held the big gold belt. Is tonight the night for the glorious one to punch his ticket to the show of shows, the grandest stage of them all? Imagine Robert Roode taking the spotlight in Raymond James Stadium Saturday night, February 25th, Sunday night, February 26th. A two-night spectacular at WrestleMania. McIntyre, Ali, Knight, and Cena inside the pods. The glorious Robert Roode, one of two participants to kick off your main event from the Honda Center, Anaheim, California, in the Elimination Chamber. Roode doing what Roode does best, getting into the psyche of his challengers, letting them watch as he soaks in the spotlight, mouthing off to all four men inside the pods, including the man he teamed with just this past week on SmackDown in LA Knight. Roode and Cena, that's a one-on-one matchup I would love to see in the future, but here comes the last man to enter the Elimination Chamber. Kicking off this matchup with Robert Roode, the Prince is in Anaheim.
And from Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland, weighing in at 190 pounds, Finn Balor.
If you want to talk about accolades, you got to look at the Prince Finn Balor. Former United States champion, former Intercontinental champion, and former multiple-time NXT champion. He has gotten the job done on the grandest stage of them all before, but never in the main event and never for the World Championship. You want to talk about is tonight the night for Robert Roode as well as the rest of these competitors? Well, is tonight the night for the Prince Finn Balor to get to a spot that a lot of superstars and a lot of the WWE Universe believe that Finn Balor would have accomplished by now. The main event of WrestleMania for a WWE World Championship. Just as we said with John Cena, just as the case is for every other man in this matchup, we will know in due time. This is certainly a big fight feel here tonight. The winner of this match will meet the Visionary, the Revolutionary, and of course the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins, at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. That will be the Friday Night SmackDown main event at the show of shows. And we are going to find out what that matchup is going to be after the second bell sounds tonight. The chamber is closed. The matchup is officially set. And the bell has sounded. We are officially underway. Finn Balor and Robert Roode kicking things off inside the Elimination Chamber. Same rules apply as earlier tonight, of course. Pinfall submission, the only way to be eliminated. Last man standings going to WrestleMania. Robert Roode going to go early, but Balor not able to get it done just yet. This match, as we mentioned earlier, only gets more dangerous, only gets more chaotic as the ring begins to fill up with superstars. We will find out our first entrant into this matchup from one of the four pods in just a moment. Right now, Roode and Balor going at it alone. It's another singles matchup I would love to see in due time on Friday Night SmackDown. Roode, of course, along with LA Knight, the last to qualify for this matchup this past week on SmackDown in that tag team affair. But who is going to join Roode and Balor as the third entrant in Elimination Chamber? Who's it going to be? It is going to be the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre enters the Elimination Chamber matchup, and a superstar of this size, that man's strength, that man's caliber, now put him inside of this structure, only gonna make him more dangerous. Just stacked Balor and Roode up like cordwood in the corner, now taking the fight to the glorious Roode, a man he's got history with, a man he dethroned back in 2017 for the NXT title. Now just like that, you see how the complexion of the match changes. Balor and Roode were going at it. McIntyre entered the matchup, and suddenly all eyes are on the Scottish Warrior as Balor goes to the top rope but is met with a shot to the rib cage by McIntyre. Fourth entrant coming up. This matchup turns from a 3 to a 4-way. Cena, LA Knight, and Mustafa Ali inside of the chamber, and it's gonna be the defiant LA Knight, a man who's had a lot of issues with Drew McIntyre over the last few weeks. Remember, prior to the Royal Rumble, McIntyre defeated Knight on SmackDown. LA Knight dropped him with a low blow after the match. And then LA Knight, it was his second opportunity this past week on SmackDown, as McIntyre had originally defeated him in an Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup. Look at that, no rest for the weary. Roode and LA Knight showing no love. They might have qualified for this match together this past Friday, but it's every man for himself when you step inside the Elimination Chamber with an opportunity to main event WrestleMania on the line. Oh, and Balor and McIntyre going at it on the outside. Nice code breaker on the outside by Balor, and LA Knight takes down Roode up the moonsault. And the superstar is just going to keep on coming until this ring is filled with 6. Ali and Cena stare across the ring from each other. Who is going to be the 5th entrant? And it is the former United States champion, the heart and soul of Friday Night SmackDown, Mustafa Ali. Ali, again, as we mentioned, won the United States Championship back on December the 9th at the All-Star Kickoff. Lost it just 11 days later on the 21st of December at Saturday night's main event to the man you saw in that ring earlier, the almighty Bobby Lashley. How sweet would it be if Ali is able to right those wrongs and kick in the door of 2023 by becoming the #1 contender for the World Championship? And you gotta feel that Ali would be pretty confident heading into WrestleMania after all the history of victories he owns over Seth Rollins. Find out if that'll be the case the next time we hear the bell, but you see how chaotic this matchup has got with 5 superstars. How chaotic is it gonna get when you add a 6th, the franchise John Cena, gonna be added to the fray right here, right now. Cena's pod door opens, and all 6 men have entered the Elimination Chamber. Remember, eliminations can occur at any time by pinfall or submission, and you see the chaos as all 6 men are teeing off on each other right now. McIntyre and Cena rolling away. And I might be wrong, but I believe McIntyre may have a cut over the eye. I'm not exactly sure from our vantage point, but I believe McIntyre may be showing some wounds inside the Elimination Chamber. Power slam Cena. Remember, those 2 men got history. John Cena originally qualified to face Seth Rollins back at the Royal Rumble by defeating Drew McIntyre. McIntyre goes back after LA Knight. Unfinished business between those 2 men. Mustafa Ali going after John Cena. Ali actually owns a victory over John Cena. You want to date back to last August on Monday Night Raw. Ali has defeated the franchise in his history. Big time tornado DDT to Cena as we speak. Oh, he's not done yet. Make it a dose by Ali. Down goes Cena again. I believe John Cena, oh, that's a big gash from our vantage point. John Cena has also been busted wide open. The Elimination Chamber calling these men to take a sacrifice for their wants and needs here tonight. Roode almost eliminated Cena with the pinfall on Balor. Referee's a little out of position. There's the cover. Balor gets the shoulder up. All these men got history with each other. Robert Roode had defeated Mustafa Ali to qualify for the All-Star Kickoff. Same thing with John Cena defeating Finn Balor. At the end of the day, you are looking at 6 of Friday Night SmackDown's top superstars, and whoever wins this matchup will certainly be a deserving challenger to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Meanwhile, take a look at the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre, who sails to the outside of the ring with an elbow drop on LA Knight. Into the cover. First elimination coming. Not just yet as LA Knight gets the shoulder up. But what a maneuver by McIntyre, throwing caution in the wind, any means necessary to get the win here tonight. Robert Roode laying out Mustafa Ali in the ring. Balor laying out Cena. McIntyre throwing LA Knight into the wall. A lot of action to cover here inside of this demonic structure. McIntyre again heading up to the top rope, delivers another elbow. I think only caught a little bit of LA Knight there. Roode and Ali on the outside, Cena and Balor on the other end. And McIntyre trying to eliminate LA Knight again in this matchup, and LA Knight gets the shoulder up. Now Cena again. This is the second time referee's been a little out of the vantage point. Cena trying to eliminate Finn Balor. 2 count here, but Balor gets the shoulder up. And Cena might have had Balor there had the referee not been focused on McIntyre and Knight. Oh, wait a minute. Mustafa Ali is climbing the side of the Elimination Chamber, taking flight. Ali with the crossbody to Robert Roode. Sacrifice to win, and there's an elimination. Our first casualty of the Elimination Chamber. Robert Roode's ribs getting crushed. And now Balor trying to eliminate Cena on the outside of the ring. Cena breaking out of it, but I cannot believe what we just saw moments ago. Mustafa Ali sacrificed to succeed. That crossbody off the wall of the chamber, crushing the windpipe of Robert Roode, and an elimination by Ali. Roode, the first man to hit the showers in the Elimination Chamber tonight. That brings us down to 5. Wait a minute, Cena. Balor's down and out. Cena's looking for a little bit of that 5-knuckle shuffle to Finn Balor. And that may be all she wrote on the Prince's evening here in Anaheim. And it is.
Balor has been eliminated.
And just like that, we are down to 4. Balor gone by hands of Cena. Roode gone by hands of Ali. And we are down to 4 men to decide who goes to WrestleMania. The defiant LA Knight, the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre, the heart and soul of SmackDown and Mustafa Ali, and the franchise, John Cena. And what a fight this has been. Cena and McIntyre showing wounds, rocking the crimson mask in this Elimination Chamber. Ali throwing caution in the wind. This is what main event in WrestleMania means to these superstars. And whoever fights Seth Rollins is certainly going to be a deserving challenger, and Rollins is absolutely going to have his hands full on the grandest stage of them all. Oh, wait a minute, look at that, out of nowhere, an attitude adjustment to LA Knight. Came up from behind and caught him.
LA Knight has been eliminated.
LA Knight had laid out, I believe, Drew McIntyre, and then he turned around into an attitude adjustment. Cena eliminates Knight, and we are down to 3 men. Ali, who is ruling the ring. And look at that, going for that Koji clutch on John Cena. Ali's got it locked in. If Cena taps, we will be down to 2. Oh, Ali's got a wrench, but Cena able to counter there. Cena with blood gushing from the forehead. Correct me if I'm wrong, but McIntyre is still gushing as well. Mustafa Ali, God knows the condition of him after he dove off the chamber a couple of minutes ago. But nonetheless, we are down to 3 men inside of the Elimination Chamber. And Seth Rollins has got to not love the choices. It's going to be a lose-lose situation, quite possibly for the visionary of WWE at WrestleMania. Ali to eliminate McIntyre, not just yet. So Ali eliminated Roode. Cena has eliminated both Finn Balor and LA Knight from this matchup. Cena taking the fight tonight, and now Cena goes for the DDT. McIntyre says otherwise. Nice counter there by the Warrior. Goes for the Claymore, I believe, but Cena sidestepped it, and now McIntyre finds himself in a predicament. Oh, don't count out Drew. Kips up, and there's the strength from John Cena off the counter, and sends McIntyre into the turnbuckles. Now Cena to eliminate McIntyre, to bring this thing to a 1v1, but McIntyre survives. Mustafa Ali's got to keep his eye on the ball. There's John Cena coming up from behind on Ali. Got to give the former United States champion credit. The heart and soul of Friday Night SmackDown's proven his worth. Wait a minute, small package by McIntyre. Cena's gonna be gone. No, Cena breaks out of it. So close to another elimination there. On a McIntyre, coming unhinged, stomping away on the heart of the franchise of WWE, John Cena. Keep your eye on Ali. Tornado DDT out of nowhere. And Ali super kick to John Cena. Drop kick to McIntyre. Mustafa Ali is ruling the squared circle right now. Will Ali be the one to go to WrestleMania and face an old rival? Wait a minute, Cena, attitude adjustment to Ali. Will it be another elimination for Cena? It is.
Mustafa Ali has been eliminated.
Cena with his third elimination, and we are down to two men. The Scottish Warrior versus the franchise. Drew McIntyre versus John Cena. One of these men are gonna main event WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. As Cena comes off the top rope, hell-bent on punching his ticket to the show of shows. And Cena has cleared house in this matchup. You gotta say the odds-on favorite. Fighting through the pain, fighting through the wounds, the scars, the blood trickling from the forehead of Cena. He eliminated Roode, he eliminated LA Knight, he eliminated Finn Balor, he eliminated Mustafa Ali. Is Drew McIntyre gonna be next? Cena wants a third shot at Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He failed at the All-Star Kickoff. He failed at the Royal Rumble. Could he succeed at the Show of Shows? Or will McIntyre be the one standing across the ring from Seth Rollins? Will McIntyre right the wrongs of 2022 and bounce back in 2023 in the Friday Night SmackDown main event in Tampa Bay, Florida? Sits out with the powerbomb to go to WrestleMania. Not just yet as Cena gets the shoulder up. Man, we have got a fight on hand. The final two men inside your main event, the Elimination Chamber, Honda Center, Anaheim, California. Sunday night, January the 22nd, 2023. McIntyre wants to pummel John Cena. And Seth Rollins is going to be watching this match on the edge of his seat right now. Does he want to go 3 for 3 versus John Cena, or does he want to test himself against Drew McIntyre? Only time will tell as McIntyre lays out Cena again. You gotta say Cena's the favorite after he already has 3 eliminations in this matchup, and at the end of the day, both these men are battered and bruised, bleeding from the forehead. And neither one of these men want to give up the opportunity to fight for the title at Mania. And McIntyre is unloading with a little bit of everything in the kitchen sink on John right now. What a overhead throw. The strength from this guy. Drew McIntyre is on a rampage in Anaheim. Cena has not been able to fight back the last minute or so. McIntyre has been all over Cena. You notice he hasn't gone for a pinfall just yet. He knows he's got to inflict more punishment on Cena to keep him down for good. McIntyre's rocking the crimson mask. John Cena's got color. Who is going to go to WrestleMania? Kick to the gut, continuing the offense. McIntyre, I guess, doesn't trust the offense just yet. Doesn't trust that he's done enough to keep Cena down. Not going for the pinfall here. You can't knock McIntyre. Wants to do everything he can to keep Cena out of it, but did he wait too long? There's a counter by Cena. Did McIntyre miss his chance? As now Cena's muscles up the big man and sends him down to the canvas. And now Cena into the cover. Is he going to WrestleMania? McIntyre, only a 1 count there on Drew. That just shows the heart and the resilience of the Scottish Warrior. And a hip toss by the franchise player. Kip up by McIntyre. Neck breaker by Drew. Back and forth, the momentum swings inside the Elimination Chamber. Goes for the tomahawk chop off the top rope, but Cena sidesteps it. And now John Cena. Oh my goodness, a Hurricane Rana in the ring. Unorthodox maneuver out of the franchise arsenal, but any means necessary to win this contest tonight. Cena wrenching it in on Drew McIntyre right now. Clearly McIntyre is feeling the damage from this Elimination Chamber match. Cena drags McIntyre and just sends him over the top rope. McIntyre, dead weight, not able to stop his momentum, and goes crashing on the floor. Now wait a minute, Cena, oh no. Pinfall and submission counts on the outside. He's got the STFU locked in tight. If McIntyre taps out, Cena's going to WrestleMania. We saw an elimination on the outskirts of the ring earlier. Are we gonna see another? Oh my goodness, look at the strength from Drew McIntyre. How the hell did he just break out of that? Any mortal man would have passed out moments ago, but McIntyre still has a fire inside of him. And now Drew McIntyre sends John Cena right into the pod. And he's not done just yet. Look at this, just grinding John Cena's head up against the steel. Did you hear that? Did you hear the thud? The carnage of Elimination Chamber is being played out before our very eyes as Cena gets set into the ring. McIntyre scales the rope. The big man from the top drops the elbow on Cena. Cena's down, McIntyre, oh my goodness, look at this strength, gut-wrench, power bomb, sits out with it into the cover. Drew McIntyre is going to WrestleMania. Holy, what a main event. What a deserving challenger to headline one half of the Friday Night SmackDown main event for the World Heavyweight Championship at the grandest stage of them all.
Here is your winner, Drew McIntyre.
Look into the eyes of the challenger, the man who will try to knock Seth Rollins off the top of the mountain at the grandest stage of them all. WrestleMania, the Friday Night SmackDown main event has officially been signed. The Visionary versus the Scottish Warrior, Seth freaking Rollins versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber, Drew McIntyre. What a main event. What a night here at Anaheim. The next time we come your way on pay-per-view, we will be at Tampa Bay at WrestleMania. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody, from Anaheim.
Face on when I chase like that, yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap, I'm a ride.